The reason why I feel like I can fly. Thinking about you day and night. I love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile.
You're in New York City checking out Esther and Carol, my friend Kevin and Cordell's newest restaurant. I've known these guys over 20 years. I'm so happy they finally opened up their first spot together. Esther and Carol at Bowery and Broom is a modern interpretation of American bistro food, and they named the restaurant after their moms. How cute is that? Let's go check it out.
What's up, man?
Nice of you to show up, Cordell. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm here.
Appreciate it. Better late than never. Better late than I get it. On our ride over, I was telling Zach just a bit of the history and background, and I came to realize that it's been 22 years we've known each other. So
well, that's
officially,
because that means you met me and I was like 6 years old.
Exactly. Sometimes I would think that, but yeah, no. So officially, that means I've known you guys more than half my life, which makes me think Kevin's real old.
Yeah, look, we met at Toronto's Wonderland.
Canada's Wonderland, yeah.
And he was a lot older than us when we met too, so you were already an old man.
Yes. And I won't go into full detail about how we met originally, but you know, when you guys came to Toronto, went to Canada's Wonderland, we all hung out, and then you invited me to come to New York. It was my first time.
We were also in Miami together.
Yeah, but that was after. So my first time ever in New York was to come visit you guys, and I stayed with Frank in Brooklyn, and we would go to Palladium.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Palladium.
Palladium and Arena and all those crazy days, and then Miami happened after, because we all went down to Miami. We took that cruise to the Bahamas, where I fell asleep on the deck.
Yeah. We don't have to get into that.
Get into too many details. Yeah. And then we went to the Black and Blue Festival.
Yeah, in Montreal.
Yeah. That was around the same year?
So that was...
No, that was years later.
That was years later, yeah. So what happened was, I came down to Miami on New Year's. So you guys, when we were all together in New York, you said, we're going down to Miami for New Year's, and we're gonna work down there for the winter. I'm like, okay, cool. This is 97. 97. So
I was living there already, and
yeah.
you came in.
So I came down for New Year's, and I ended up getting a job, and Kevin said to me, you know, you can crash at my place until you get on your feet and get an apartment.
And you never...
No, I did. I stayed with him for a bit, and then I saved my money, whatever, and got an apartment. But, you know, like, that was really kind of like a turning point for me, because the thing is, just living in Miami totally changed the course of my life. Like, for me, living in Miami opened my eyes to what nightlife and lifestyle and all that could be, right? So, and it was just on such a whim. I was there, New Year's, met this waitress. She was Canadian, told me she got a job. I'm like, I want to work here, and I got a job. And then, because Kevin also, so when he said, yeah, you can crash at my place until you get sorted, you were working at the Delano.
Right, and your first job was, what was that place called?
Mangoes. I did a couple of shifts at Mangoes, but that was it. Was it Mangoes or some club down there? Anyway.
The place you had to dance on the bar.
We don't need to get into that right now, but so back to what I was saying. Back to what I was saying was
that is correct.
We're gonna cut that out, but yeah. So Kevin was like, I have to be at Delano today, and I'm also scheduled at Joya. We're getting ready to open up. Can you cover my shift at Joya? They need me in there. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course. I'm sleeping on your apartment for free. Yeah, I'll go do that. Of course, I'll help you out. So I go there, and I'm at Joya, and the liquor's arriving, the furniture's arriving, and I'm ripping boxes open, stocking liquor, whatnot. And the owner, Chris Pacello, comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, what's your name? I'm like, Zark. He's, what do you do here? I'm like, I don't work here. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm covering a shift for a friend who works here. He's like, you're going to work here. I like the way you work. I'm getting you a job here. And that was it. And that's how I met Chris Pacello. And that's what led to me then working at Liquid and Barroom, and then, you know, everything else that came after that. So anyways, working and living in Miami for me just changed the course of my life. And, you know, it was really because of you guys that I was able to be there and see that, and just, that was amazing. And it's been awesome, just kind of like how each one of us moved back to, I moved back to Toronto, started my thing. You guys moved back to New York, did your thing, and Frank, obviously, and it's just been...
I was in New York doing my thing.
Yeah. But, yes, you were promoting, you know, and that's the funny thing, because, you know, I explained to people, you know, I went to New York for the first time. I'm rolling around with my friends, and we go to this one club, and we arrive, and there's a table set up, and bottles and models, and we're hanging out, and then we bounce to another club. We arrive, same deal. And at the end of the night, I turned to my friends. I'm like, man, I don't get it. What are we doing? Like every club we go to, you know everybody. We sit down, there's alcohol and girls and everybody knows you. And then when you walk out, you're getting an envelope of cash. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm a promoter. And I'm like, what is this? What is this promoter thing? And you and Everton were like, well, you know, we booked the DJ, we set up the promo, those people are our hosts, we create the party, and that's what we do. And I'm thinking to myself,
it's a tough thing to explain to people.
But at that moment, I'm like, I have found my calling. I am going to be a promoter. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, because we didn't have promoters in Canada. In Toronto, we didn't have that. No, back then.
So
when I moved back from Miami, when I lived in Miami, we had 5 clubs in Toronto back then, and you got in line, you paid your $5 cover charge, you went inside, and that was it. There was no.
How did the club get sexy then?
So what happened was, when I moved back from Miami to Toronto, I came back with this vision in my head. Like in Miami, I saw people wearing Dolce & Gabbana, dancing on couches with a bottle of champagne in their hand, listening to house music. And I was like, what world is this? What is going on? I need to bring this back to Toronto. So when I moved back, I started doing these small parties that were all about that kind of Miami-style house music, that kind of Junior Vasquez remixes that you would only hear in the gay clubs in Toronto. But I brought that to the straight clubs and really handpicked our crowd and brought a little bit of that scene. And that's what really started us off, because we were offering small, intimate parties for people who really got it and understood it. And through learning what you guys did about promoting and how you took care of people, how you set things up, how you just went about creating those experiences. Like I took all that I learned from you guys and really brought that back to Toronto, and that's what kind of got me started. And then I met Ralph, and then we started working together, and that's what, allowed me to kind of create the foundation from which I've created everything else, So yeah, that's how that kind of went down. So thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for letting me crash at your
I'm
party.
feeling like there should be a kickback. There should be a kickback.
Just so I have this right, Balthazar at one point was the 4th highest grossing restaurant in North America.
Yeah.
Something crazy like
Something
40 million.
It's been in the top 10 before you started getting the mega places like Tao that had nightclubs in it
it's
as well.
It's still, per square foot wise, one of the most successful restaurants in the entire world.
Right.
Yeah, and so I was the maitre d' there for 13 years. And then after that, I left there to go work for Andre Balas, and I opened a restaurant. I was a maitre d' in 2 restaurants, one of which I opened for him, Narcissa. And then, Cordell and I, we've been friends for over 20 years, and he'd already owned some places. This is the first place that I own a piece of.
Yeah.
And it just, all of the things that we wanted to do, for instance, we wanted to build a concept where you can walk in the door and you can be here for this could be your entire evening out. You don't have to go to any other club or anything of that nature. So we have the restaurant upstairs, then we have a live music venue downstairs that then becomes a lounge. Then we have a takeout, which we strategically put next to the exit of the lounge, because I know what I do once I'm drunk in the middle of the night. I buy food. So it's like, and then in a year, when the hotel that's our landlord adds 2 floors, then we add the roof deck.
Oh, very cool.
And the ice cream shop. Basically, ice cream 2 doors down.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we would like to do a dairy-free ice cream shop.
Oh, great idea. Yeah.
Because
I'm a little lactose intolerant, and I love ice cream. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it flows into the ice cream also follows into the branding of the concept, which Cordell will speak more about.
Yeah. Well, then I just want to mention, so I don't have too many business regrets in my career lifetime. I have a few, but one, I remember you called me up and said, Zark, I'm opening this spot and I want you to come take a look at it because we're looking for a couple small investors, and just come to a walkthrough. And we met, and you took me through the basement of this place, and like the ceilings were low and it smelled like mold, and I'm like, where the hell am I? What are we? And you introduced me to this guy named Serge. Yeah. And we're walking around, and you're trying to paint this vision for me. I'm just looking at you like, where the hell are we? And at the time, I just opened Blowfish, so I was like totally cash strapped, no money to invest. And you told me about the concept, and at the time I just couldn't see it. And sure enough, 6-7 months later, I'm reading in Rolling Stone magazine, I'm reading in US Weekly, I'm reading all the publications, La Schiena, Madonna, Bono, everybody who was relevant 10 years ago was dining there. And I just thought to myself, damn, I missed the boat on that one.
Yeah,
like La Schiena, when it opened up, was like legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary. And
Yeah, it was very, very hard raising money for that place, because it's mostly a basement. And also showing people that they're going to walk into the takeout and then walk down a flight of stairs, that there was no door there, nor was there a flight of stairs. And I'm trying to explain that to people.
you're going to walk through the kitchen.
And then you're going to walk through the kitchen. People just looked at me like I
Yeah.
was totally crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like La Schiena and that whole sort of hidden entrance through the kitchen or back door or whatever really kicked off a whole trend, because
I've
then,
seen it a lot
you're
more
seeing
places.
it now more recently at a place like Beauty in Essex, or all those speakeasy type cocktail bars, like a bunch of places after that kind of replicated that.
Yes,
back door, side door.
I try not to say that La Schiena is the reason, but since La Schiena,
Yeah.
I've seen that plenty more times.
Yeah.
Or more often than I used to see it before La Schiena.
And was it a matter of functionality? Like you just couldn't get through any other way, so it just happened like that?
Yeah, well, it was a couple different ways. We couldn't really figure out a way to make it logistically work without it feeling like that. And then we realized the feeling of this would, help create a nicer experience.
Yeah.
So we just went with it.
Totally memorable for sure. And the chefs would always wave or say
They'd always
something.
wave to you, yeah.
It was awesome. And La Schiena, obviously amazing, still going, incredible place. And so after La Schiena, you then were looking for your next project?
Yeah, after La Schiena, my friend Simon Hammerstein approached me about a space he was building called The Box. He was originally just doing a theater from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and he wanted to do a nightclub from 11 to 4 a.m. and he hadn't finished building the place yet. So he asked me to come in, and I talked Serge into it, and we became his partner. We created this. It was supposed to be a live music and performance space, all blended into one, which we originally did. And the performance art kind of ended up taking over. And he never ended up going back to creating the earlier theater, because the night theater that he created with us ended up taking off. And that's how we came up with the concept of The Box.
Yeah. And Box, again, world famous,
Yeah.
internationally known,
Yeah.
crazy. Like, you never know what the hell you're at the Box.
Yeah.
Like, it's not for the faint of
Faint
heart
of
or the
heart.
weak
Yeah.
stomach type, because
Yeah.
you see some freaky shit up there.
Yeah, well,
And-
if you're up at 2:00 in the morning watching
Yeah.
a show, you want to see something that you're gonna, it's gonna impact you, whether you like it or you don't like it. It's still impactful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Box, another innovative concept that just, I remember seeing it for the first time in New York, and they did a Box pop-up in Miami one year during Art Basel, and I got mounted by the MC at the end of the show, and it was just, it was weird. It was a bit uncomfortable. My friends all enjoyed it, but it was weird. And
Yeah, it's supposed to shake you up a
Yeah,
little.
I got shook up a little bit for sure.
It's supposed to shake you up a little. You remember for the rest of your life now.
Yeah, no, it was memorable for sure.
Yeah, that's what makes
As long
it
as you
great.
did get mounted by the girl who does the last show. Was it?
Do you remember who
Who
mounted
mounted
you?
you?
Nah, it was some dude. I don't know.
Somebody named Rosewood?
No, I don't think so.
His name wasn't
I
Rosewood.
can't remember.
You're lucky.
Anyway, so moving on.
browse
So
that mountain next.
Esther and Carol, tell how did the vision for this come together?
So, Esther and Carol. Esther is my mother, and Carol is Cordell's. And
How did your moms feel when you told them you're naming a restaurant after them?
My mom said she was going to call her trademark lawyer and see where she at.
and as my mom is a lot more quiet and shy, she actually didn't say anything at first, but then on Mother's Day, she walked out of the restaurant, she turned around and she looked at me and she was like, I feel famous. So it's like,
awesome.
could you tug on the heartstrings just a little more? So it was
I feel safe. That's
yeah.
cute. That's cute.
You know,
Now, do you have any of your mom's recipes on the menu?
we don't have our mom's recipes on the menu. However, it's the
Is the food
It's
inspired?
the food is inspired of things
Okay.
that, you know, like that's where the fried chicken comes
Okay.
from. You know, it's
I think-
more for me than him because
Yeah.
it's more kind of American inspired and he's Trinidadian.
But I think the concept of America and the journey that our parents made, which is two separate paths that Kevin went on and that I went on, but with a similar philosophy and journey of this country, are heavily infused and integrated into the concept of this place. So my mother came here. She was born on a dirt road, and she had a talent in design. She designed for Grace Jones, Luther Vandross, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren. She styled for those guys, designed for those guys. And she had a vision of coming and making a life in America and having kids here and giving them a better chance and a better future than the opportunities that she was given. So Kevin's dream as well of the American dream of, okay, I'm going to travel from down south to New York, give my family a better life, and hopefully they have a chance to grow and ascend more than the previous generation. That kind of is the American dream, to give the next generation a better chance of success than the previous. And that's what Esther and Carol are about. And as people, you know, and that's what they did for us as people. So our concept is an American bistro, and we've taken the most important time of our country's history, which was the turn of the century, when we became a predominant nation to the rest of the world, and we gave an example to the rest of the world what a country can be. Like, we gave it a blueprint to the world of what a country could be. And that's when a lot of the dishes that are on our menu were invented, right at that time period.
Okay.
So we're trying to do American comfort foods, except we're doing them with a touch of cleanliness and health. So we've made them up to date. And we've designed the place pretty similar to that. It's all Art Deco and industrialism, but done a little bit more up to date.
No, the design's beautiful. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Antonio's work from PD Lab. And
Give a little blurb
well,
to
I
his
mean,
boy.
you know, he's one of my very close friends. I love what he does. But no, I mean, I see elements like, you know,
We gave
yeah.
Antonio the total concept of what we wanted to do,
Yeah.
the way we wanted to look, and the way we wanted to feel, and he was able to execute that very well. He felt our vision.
So I've been here a couple times for dinner now. As you guys were just kind of opening, so I haven't really had the full experience. So if somebody hasn't been here before, they're coming to Esther and Carol, what would be? You said like this is a full like one-stop
Yes.
spot. You can come here, you
One-stop
got your whole
shop.
night. So what would an evening here look like?
Well, I mean, you're walking in the door, and of course, it's I'm not just the owner; I'm the maitre d' here as well, because that's what I've done forever. So, you know, at first, you know, from your dining experience, and then after you've had your meal, then we can, you know, just kind of escort you downstairs, where we'll have live music. The live music, which is I would believe unlike any other event, any other space, because the live music is free. You know, and you can reserve a table up here. You could then reserve a table downstairs to listen to music. Then after the live music, that's when the DJs come on. So you could basically just spend your entire evening here. You could just come for the music. You could just come for the DJ. So unlike most other venues that exist in the city, it's like when you're planning out your whole night, it's like, okay, I'm going to go here. Then you got to get your Uber and pick up all 6 of your guests and go someplace else.
Yeah.
And so forth and so on. Whereas here, you never have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And our job between Cordell and myself, because we're both here every day, is that we're also here for you and for your experience. So it's
Right.
like, you know, when you come and you sit down at a table, I seat you at a table. Cordell is coming and talking to you about what Esther and Carol is, from a concept, from what your dining experience is going to be. And then I'm coming in and I'm picking you up from that table and I'm escorting you downstairs and I'm giving you your seat downstairs. And so it's your whole, it's not only just a one-stop shopping, it's an interactive experience with two owners who have been doing this for 20 years.
Right. Yeah.
So
We want to make it like, you know, almost like a place for the neighborhood as well. You know, because we have a lot of friends in this neighborhood. The Box and La Esquina are in this neighborhood. Balthazar is in this neighborhood. So we're pretty accustomed to this neighborhood. And we're accustomed with guests coming to this neighborhood for our experiences. And it is like a one-stop shop, adult playground, you know, you can say. And and therefore we've made it so our vegetarian friends can come here, our paleo friends can come here, our gluttonous eater friends can come here, and we've made sure the dietary needs of everyone are covered so that everybody's welcome to come here.
Yeah. And let me ask you that, how important is that? Like, because obviously more people are having diet allergies or sensitivities to things, but now also people are really becoming a lot more particular about what they want to eat. Where is the meat coming from, or what kind of, you know, farm, or is it GMO or whatnot?
Well, at Esther and Carol, we use all of our product here is pretty much locally sourced. All of our meats are cruelty-free, hormone-free, and locally sourced. Most of our vegetables we get are organic and locally sourced. We don't have any cane sugar, high fructose corn syrup behind the bar or in the kitchen. We only use healthy low glycemic sweeteners like coconut palm sugar, agave. But you still get a somewhat of a gluttonous meal. You still get that feeling of the real food you want to eat without taking away from that experience. We've been able to change some of those ingredients to make it a little healthier and a little cleaner.
That's great.
So, and that's what we wanted to do. Because in general, if you invite me to a really strict health food restaurant, if you see me there, I'm probably on a date.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like the places that are really trying to cater to those preferences and offer a lot of things that you're mentioning, you're almost trading like vibe and sexiness for health and wellness. Like it's rare that you kind of get all of that together.
We want to sit somewhere in the middle, and then there's on the flip side, there's also, you know, for instance, I could dine here with someone who doesn't eat gluten and who wants to, you know, who is a vegetarian. Yeah. Myself, I'm not. I mean, sprinkle gluten, bring back MSG. I don't care. But that's just how I eat. Right. You know, so that's where so now you can have two people who have totally two different ways of eating in the same place.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we wanted to do.
So you guys opened in May. So it's been a few months now, and even though you guys are veterans of the business, been doing this a really, 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 really long time, what have been some of the challenges of opening a new spot together? Because you guys have never opened a place together. So what are some of the challenges of partnering with one of your closest friends, and then obviously for you going into ownership for your first time? I mean, you know, what's that like? I know you've opened places for some of the biggest operators in the country, but now you're doing it on your own, and what
how much more time we got? No, I think the most difficult aspects were, you know, when you open a place, you know, you have people who open places that have money and don't know what they're doing. You have people that open places, and, you know, and everyone knows of them, like Keith McNally and Andre Balaz or what have you. Cordell and I, what we bring is that we just know half the city, you know. So, and the good and the bad of that is, you know, the biggest challenge, I guess, is like opening in the summertime. Right. And since when you can take half of the Rolodex of people that I might have, and even a bigger half of his, who actually do live in this neighborhood or do live around, who can afford not to be here in the summer. Right. So we have, you know, a lot of people who are either away And opening a restaurant in the summer is just the most difficult time anyway. So as far as challenges, that was one obstacle. The second is, we're licensed for 54 seats outside, and we've been since we opened, yet we haven't had, the city sign off on it.
Oh, wow.
Which is, every day we're in the summertime, we don't have our seats. So, things that unforeseeable challenges, that just happens to be
But
one of them.
all in all, the vibe that we've created here and the audience that we get here show a clear path for success.
Okay.
And
Yes.
it's a very, very good feeling here.
So you feel that in the short amount of time, the vision that you really had in mind and created is like coming to fruition?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
great.
and then the Cordell is the concept guy. That's the concept branding guy, and and I will say
Visionary.
and visionary, and there were things like even the downstairs when he's like, no, we're gonna make this live music venue and we're gonna do this. No, we're gonna rip all of those speakers out and we're gonna put these speakers. And I'm just looking at it, it's like, we just change, but I'll say, and when you talk about challenges, it's like part of some of the things. It's like because my mind just kind of works more like this, and which also makes us good partners.
Yeah,
and
you need that.
It took us a moment to
dynamic,
realize because we had some clash in the beginning, but now when I see the finished product, I'm like, okay, now I see.
And one thing I wanted to mention, I was saying this to Zach yesterday, is the distribution of speakers in here is perfect because you can have a consistent level of music throughout the space, not having to play it too loud and being able to have a conversation. It's when people only have 4 speakers in a room and they're cranking them to fill the room. But like you guys have that set up throughout, and the little subwoofers throughout the space as well. And I went downstairs the first time I was here and you had that live band, that woman, and she was amazing. I got to get her name from you because I got to check her on YouTube. I remember, I can't exactly remember who she was, but she was really, really great. She kind of had like a almost
Little black girl?
no,
Angel?
no, she was.
Oh, then it
who
was
like her?
Sophia.
Yeah, she kind of had like a bit of a. Trying to think of an artist I could reference. Not like a Lana Del Rey. She kind of had like
a Grimes vibe.
no, she was. Anyways, it'll come to me. But anyways, I love the design and aesthetic because as soon as you walk down the hall, it's a whole different look. It's a different vibe. And I like how intimate it is. Like I like small rooms like that, and you've got all the banquets. Like, yeah, I totally get it. You could have a nice dinner here, go downstairs, maintain your party and your vibe in your own booth down there, listen to music, whether it be a band, whether it be the DJ, and just enjoy your night. And yeah, I mean, regardless of the fact that we're good friends, obviously, like this is the kind of spot that I would go to because I appreciate a smaller, intimate room, and then obviously that one-to-one service, and then not having to hop in an Uber, walk downstairs, enjoy the night. Yeah, and your cocktails are great. Yeah, I've tried a few. The Sage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Yeah, yeah.
Big Papa.
Big Papa. I haven't tried that one yet.
It's a good one.
It's strong.
Big Papa. Yeah, I'm excited for the ice cream shop.
That's about a year away.
Yeah, all right.
Year and a half.
But that's the thing. Like I understand. Obviously, it would have been great to open with a patio this year. It would have been great to have all those people in town. But come September, they're all back, and by then you'll have the business running like a well-oiled machine, hopefully.
That's one of the that's the good and the bad of it. It's like because we're here and we're good.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That being said, we got to we had time to learn.
Yeah.
So that's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't think that I would get arrested, I would take the Bowery and Broom sign off the corner and put Esther and Carol up there because we're pretty much planning on taking over the whole block.
I like that. That's awesome. Well, I'm happy for you guys to see you finally, come together and do this. This was a long time in the works.
It's
I know you guys
we
have
talked
been
about
working
doing
on
a
it
place
for years.
maybe
Yeah.
15
Yeah.
years
I
ago.
mean, we actually
12
before we had a
we
lease
had a
that
lease.
we were taking over. And we decided not to take.
And now it's a
that
Michelin
lease.
star restaurant.
Okay.
But if we had, then La Esquina would have never happened.
That's true. Yeah.
And so
So we're here now,
Yeah.
the right time, right place.
Right, that's the thing. It's like I think that so many people, they want to, when it comes to opening something, they want it so bad to the point that they'll rush into something.
Their emotion
because the place that was over there, it was just like, we would have opened it, but it didn't have all of the things that we wanted.
Yeah.
You know, like I always wanted a place that's on a corner. You know, I always wanted a place that has, you know, a basement in it that you can do something with. And it's like we were just opening something and it had so many challenges. So I'm glad that we didn't.
Yeah.
And that, you know, we just happened to walk into this place and it just, so yeah, I love what we did here.
Yeah. The right project's worth waiting for. You know?
Exactly.
And one thing I learned along the way is sometimes the best projects you do are the ones you don't. So who knows, maybe you would have taken that one, like you said, would have eliminated many other future opportunities, right? But no,
Yes.
I think you guys got a winner here. Great location, food's awesome, and you know, and obviously you got the dream team. So looking forward to coming back many times and back for the ice cream. And when I'm eating beef again, I will try your burger. Are you going to do a veggie burger also?
Yes.
Yeah, we're working on
Yes.
it right now.
Nice. Well, so if you guys have any tastings coming up soon for the burgers or the ice cream, I am a quick flight away. I will come in. I will
We'll let you know.
I will share my opinions.
We'll
with
invite you.
And,
We'll be adding brunch soon.
okay.
We'll be adding
Yeah.
brunch in about 2 weeks.
All right. Cool.
So we invite you for brunch.
All right.
All right. Come hungry.
I always am.
Come hungry.
I always am. All right. Guys, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Doc.
Good hanging out, man.
Always, man.
And that's it. Looking forward to reading the headlines about so and so eating here, this one and that one.
We try to keep a
And I
little
can
bit
say-
we try to keep it a little under wraps. We don't want to expose everybody all the time, but
I could say, yeah, they're my famous friends, man. I know
Yeah.
this guy. I used to sleep on his couch.
yeah.
He used to leave the club early.
Are you really going to
Yeah,
open that?
Really?
All right, we'll end this with this. So Kevin and I would be out clubbing in Miami.
I know,
doing our
buddy.
thing, and Kevin would be like, yeah, I'm a bounce. Like, Kevin, it's so early. Why are you leaving? The party's popping. Nah, I mean, I'm tired. I gotta go home. And it wasn't. So he would always leave the club early and go home. And it wasn't until I moved out, and like years later, he said, "You know, all those times I left the club early. I want to stay, man. I'll let you tell it."
I mean, he had this snoring problem.
Oh my God!
That- and it was
he
just
would
like-
rumble.
It-
It was
it-
like
it-
sleeping next to a lion.
To tell you how,
Lion, yeah.
since he opened the door, I mean, when we took this trip to the Bahamas, and
Oh my
we're
God.
all laying out on the deck, and it's just like I'm sleeping, and I wake up to this woman yelling at me. Now, there were 150 people on this deck, and this woman, she's like, "Your friend's a beast." And so I look around, all 150 people are gone except for Zark and me. And Cordell. It was a problem, and I'm thankfully he fixed that.
Well, I'm working on it. I'm working on
I
it.
don't-
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Hey, nobody's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect. Ain't my fault. Yeah.
I mean, what do you care? You're asleep. What do you care? Whatever you snore, you're fine with it. You know, you're asleep.